You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week.
Hello everyone, I'm Chris Thomas. You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week. In 10 on Your Side, a family shares their outrage after they say their 102-year-old father and proud veteran had his voter registration canceled. We went straight to the Secretary of State's office for answers. Plus, in dollars and cents, we look at how to file your taxes for free. Then we hit the back roads. John Bartel takes us to the Caviar capital of the nation, Sacramento County, where fish farmers round up sturgeon for a living. ABC10 Plus This Week starts now. We start tonight with the shooting death of Marysville police officer Osmar Rodarte.
We have team coverage tonight, including the latest on the investigation.
But we do want to start with the emotional procession honoring fallen officer Rodarte. ABC10's Jeannie Nguyen was there.
This has really rattled the community. This is something that should have never happened.
Disgusted by the violence, Bill Olar says it was important for him to show up to honor the life of Marysville police officer Osmar Rodarte Thursday morning. The procession started at the Lakeside Colonial Chapel and ended at a morgue in Roseville.
I woke up this morning and I said I'm going to take my flag and I'm going to go down there and I'm going to pay my respects to that officer and let them know that we care about this, and hopefully, with God's help, this will never happen again.
As a longtime Yuba City resident, Andrea Quintana had a hard time recalling the last time an officer died so close to her community.
I can't remember a time like this when one of our officers, that this happened, you know. And it's sad. It's sad, and it's you know, he's so young.
Officer Rodarte was shot and killed while serving a search warrant in Olivehurst that was part of a years-long investigation into a drug trafficking operation. His death marks the first line-of-duty death in more than a century for the Marysville Police Department. For Barbara Overton, she says this hits too close to home.
I'm here to support the officer that passed away, and my daughter and her wife. They both work with the officer. You just never know when they leave in the morning.
A community in pain, but staying united as they try to heal, hoping this never happens again. In Marysville, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
Jeannie, thank you. Officer Rodarte graduated from the Sacramento Police Academy in June 2022. Sacramento police say he exemplified the definition of a hero.
Listen to this. An outraged family contacted 10 on Your Side about their 102-year-old father and proud veteran having his voter registration canceled. We went straight to the Secretary of State's office for answers.
I mean, you and Mom always instilled in us the importance of voting.
Diana Larson will never forget her father's service to this country and the pride the 102-year-old veteran takes in voting year after year.
And growing up, I would remember the two of them in the front room, going through the ballot, discussing the issues.
And so imagine Diana's surprise when her dad, Mr. Marvin Likens, received this email back in February from the California Secretary of State saying his voter registration had been canceled.
It's his constitutional right to vote. And the last I checked, there wasn't a maximum age saying after age 100 you can no longer vote.
The email instructed the Stockton resident to contact the county elections office immediately to address the issue.
When I called the state's office, they said that they had taken the list of people who were over age 100 and had merged it with the deceased list. Therefore, Dad was considered part of the deceased list.
That's when Diana called 10 on Your Side.
I was mad, yeah, because it's not right that they're taking rights away from our seniors.
The Secretary of State's office released this statement saying the only age requirement is that a voter must be 18 years or older on Election Day. It was brought to the attention of the California Secretary of State that a voter in San Joaquin County had their voter record mistakenly canceled due to an incorrect determination that the voter record matched a deceased record.
I have a hard time believing that of the 9,000 centenarians in this state, that Dad was the only person this happened to.
So how does something like this happen, and what's being done to make sure it doesn't happen again? The Secretary of State tells 10 on Your Side, as part of regular voter roll maintenance, every quarter the Secretary of State provides to county election officials a list of voters whose birthday indicates that they are 100 years old or more and is a potential match to a deceased record. The election staff in San Joaquin County evaluated the quarterly list from December 2024 and mistakenly determined that the voter record in question matched a deceased record and initiated the voter record cancellation process.
But a lot of times people might just say, oh, it's just too much trouble, just forget it. So you've now taken a demographic of people who are more likely not to complain or not make a fuss about it, and they've been disenfranchised from their right to vote.
The Secretary of State says they'll be providing additional training to San Joaquin County voter registration staff on the list maintenance process to ensure these errors do not occur in the future. What do you think, Mr. Likens?
I hope it's fixed.
The Secretary of State's office says the issue has been fixed and Mr. Likens was allowed to re-register. And do you have a problem and don't know where else to turn? ABC10 is here to help. Email me at onyourside@abc10.com.
In tonight's Dollars and Cents, a new free tool to file your taxes for free in California is back. IRS Direct File is now in its sophomore year with new features and more eligibility. I talk with an expert about what you need to know to file your taxes for free directly with the government.
Filing your taxes is a civic duty, and you shouldn't have to pay a fee to do it.
And so the IRS launched Direct File. It's a program where you can go online, file your taxes directly with the IRS for free. It was in pilot in 2024, and now it's back. Its reach has more than doubled now to 25 states, making more than 32 million Americans eligible.
It's expanded. There are some new features that make it even easier for you to file your taxes with the IRS instead of having to pay a private preparer.
The Treasury Department estimates users saved nearly $6 million in tax preparation fees during the pilot period. The Groundwork Collaborative says the program now covers a wider range of tax situations and offers advanced new functionality to pre-populate some taxpayer data, making filing even easier and faster.
If you start with Direct File, you can check your eligibility very quickly. And if you're eligible, you can just go right ahead and file your taxes.
Research from the Economic Security Project shows this IRS Direct File program has the potential to save taxpayers $11 billion annually in cost and time savings. At this time, the IRS says you cannot use Direct File if you have income from the gig economy or rental or business income. Qualifying income includes W-2 wage income, Social Security income, and retirement income.
I've been doing some reading on this, and some folks have said that this is a game changer. How so?
Just being able to do this for free is really important for taxpayers. Also, being able to do it directly with the IRS, know that your information is not being sold to other companies, not being used to market to you, but instead you're just interacting with the government to pay your taxes for free and get your refund back, I think is a game changer for a lot of families.
Remember, the deadline to file your taxes is April 15th, but Direct File will be available until October 15th for people who have additional time to file. 25 states, including California, are participating in this free tax filing program. We have eligibility details and a link to file on our website, abc10.com. You can also find other tax season information streaming now on our ABC10 Plus app. And that's where you can also see all of my Dollars and Cents stories. The app is free to download on your TV. You can also email me your questions at lpainter@abc10.com.
Genetic testing company 23andMe has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Its co-founder and CEO has also resigned, as the company has announced that it will note that it will look to sell, quote, substantially all of its assets. But what does this all mean for your data? ABC10's Becca Habegger explains how you can protect yourself.
More than 15 million people worldwide have submitted their DNA to the genetic testing company 23andMe, looking to learn about their ancestry, piece together their family tree, and test for genetic markers. But now, with the company going bankrupt, many are wondering what this means for data. The company says protections are unchanged, but on Friday, California Attorney General Rob Bonta issued a warning telling people how to protect their privacy and delete their data from the 23andMe app. I'm going to show you how to do it. First of all, let's talk permissions. There are some things you maybe opted into when you first signed up for 23andMe that you want to revoke permissions for now. For example, asking 23andMe to store your saliva sample. You can go on here and tell them to destroy your sample. Go to the settings section of your profile. Here it says your samples are being stored. You can go ahead and click discard samples. You can also look at all the things you opted into before, and you can go ahead and opt out of them. Like whether you allowed 23andMe to use your data for third-party research. Here it says you have given consent. You can go ahead and revoke that consent. You might have to scroll through some text. You can go ahead and read that, but then you're changing your permission to say that you do not give consent. Always make sure you're hitting submit. You should see some confirmation saying that you no longer give permission. Depending on whether you're doing it on your phone or on a laptop or desktop computer, it might look a little different. And then when it comes to permanently deleting your data, scroll down to where it says 23andMe data. Go to your delete your data section. This step actually took the longest. It appears there's a lot of folks on the system right now bogging it down. But once the delete your data screen does pop up, it allows you to decide whether to download copies of some of your data, which you might want to do. You might want a hard copy of that genetic information that, after all, you paid for or perhaps was gifted to you, and you can go ahead and do that there. But once you have downloaded or backed up any information that you want to keep, you can go ahead and permanently delete your data. You scroll all the way down, you'll find at the bottom, permanently delete data. Select that, and then you'll get an email from 23andMe. Now, this is very important. 23andMe says they won't permanently delete your data until you follow through on that email and confirm that you want to do it. So make sure you're checking your inbox and following through so you can rest assured your data and your privacy are as protected as possible. Now, keep in mind, some of what we're talking about might only apply to California consumers based on California privacy laws. So it might look a little different on your consent or opting in, opting out, depending on what state you live in. We asked 23andMe for an interview about what they plan on doing with customers' data, but they just pointed us back to their news releases saying we will seek to find a partner who shares our commitment to customer data privacy, and any buyer will be required to comply with applicable law with respect to the treatment of customer data, and any transaction will be subject to customary regulatory approvals. They add 23andMe is still open for business, orders and subscriptions will continue as normal, and any purchases or genetic testing kits sent in for processing will be handled without disruption. Becca Habiger, ABC 10.
And we also want to note that last year, 23andMe agreed to pay a $30 million settlement in a class action lawsuit related to a 2023 data breach. It is also important to note that 23andMe treats deleting your data as an account closure. According to the confirmation email received when one of our colleagues requested to delete their data, once a customer does so, they will no longer be able to access their 23andMe account.
After more than 6 decades as a downtown Sacramento landmark, Macy's has closed its doors for the final time. Once a cornerstone of the city's retail scene, the departure leaves behind memories and questions about what comes next for the prime location. ABC 10's Luke Clary is live in downtown Sacramento right now. And Luke, we know this store means so much to so many people. What have shoppers told you?
Yes, indeed, Laura, Chris. I've been talking to shoppers here throughout the afternoon, many of them telling me that it's surreal to see Macy's doors closed, and many are wondering what comes next. Once a symbol of downtown Sacramento's shopping district, Macy's closed its doors for good over the weekend after more than 6 decades in business. Through the glass, employees can be seen shuffling between the trash bins and empty display cases. Did you see this coming?
No, never did, honestly.
It was nice, and it's sad to see it gone.
It's one of 66 Macy's stores to close this year, including the location at Sunrise Mall in Citrus Heights. Part of an effort, the company says, to, quote, return the company to sustainable, profitable sales growth. When Macy's came to town in 1963, it changed the face of downtown Sacramento forever, according to city historian Marcia Iman.
Macy's wanted the freeway right by where they were going to be located, and so that's why I-5 is where it is.
When it was completed, it was the anchor to what would become the Downtown Plaza and later DOCO.
What Macy's meant to the city was huge.
But with Macy's gone, what comes next for this location?
That's a great question. And I think that's where we have to do a lot more soul searching, because clearly retail has not done well in that area.
Sanjay Varshney is a finance professor at Sac State and founder of Golden Stone Wealth Management. He says a creative developer could take advantage of the opportunity.
There's money that can be made, and with the right people, with the right talent, with the right thinking, it can be done.
But for now, the store that made its mark on downtown Sacramento stands quiet, a question mark for the future, and a reminder of a bygone era. And so what comes next for this store, that remains unclear. Macy's owns the property. They said that they would let us know when they had an update to share. As for the city, they said that they have not received any proposals for this site. Reporting live in downtown Sacramento, Luke Clary, ABC 10.
Yeah, Luke, so many years, so many memories, but as they say, when one door closes, another one opens. So we'll be certainly tracking what the future holds for this prime location. Luke, thank you.
As the sun rises over Sacramento Valley and the rural farming community of Wilton, the ranch hands at Tsar Nikolai are preparing for an early morning roundup. Well, you won't find any livestock on this ranch. Oh no, Tsar Nikolai is a caviar and sturgeon farm, the largest in the state.
We're on a ranch. Would you call yourself like a water cowboy or?
Fish farmer, aquaculturalist, yeah.
If you don't know, caviar is salted sturgeon eggs, and the little town of Wilton is the caviar capital of the nation.
So yeah, caviar country. So 94% of the US-based caviar comes from this area.
Today is harvest day, and fish farmer Austin Gabriels put me to work testing female sturgeon to see if their eggs are ready for caviar processing.
That one didn't want to go anyways.
No.
Testing is a little rudimentary. It's done by making a small incision in the fish's belly and literally sucking a few eggs out with your mouth and a plastic tube.
What exactly are you looking for?
So we're taking a sample of the eggs before we send them to processing, just to check the firmness, the color, and the quality of the eggs.
Not one to shy away from a little work. I sucked out a few eggs too.
Oh, it's in my mouth, that's why. Yep.
Well, the free belly caviar is a perk of the job, but if you want to try the much tastier cured caviar, you'll need to take a caviar bump with Ali Berlucci at the Tsar Nikolai kitchen.
Yeah.
More buttery.
It does taste, oh my gosh, it's really good when it's aged there.
Come a long way.
Ali says eating caviar dates back thousands of years. At first, only royals living along the Caspian Sea ate the caviar, but when sturgeon were first discovered in the United States, it was served up to common folk.
In the days of like the 1800s, 19th century in the Hudson River, it was kind of a bar snack because hackleback, or one of the relatives of the American sturgeon, was abundant in the Hudson River area. So they would serve this to you. And what does a fatty, salty food get you to do more?
Drink more.
Bingo, bango.
Sturgeon are some of the oldest fish species alive. Their fossils date back 200 million years. Unfortunately, sturgeon were overfished in the U.S., so to save the population, scientists in the Sacramento Valley stepped in.
The technology of aquaculture to produce caviar at sturgeon farms was developed in conjunction with UC Davis back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Today, the only sustainable way to make caviar is by farming sturgeon in tanks and then processing their eggs, also known as roe, in super clean rooms.
The challenge for us is just two ingredients. So you got California white sturgeon, raised sustainably, local fish, and Pacific sea salt.
That's it, two ingredients.
Two ingredients may sound easy, but separating the eggs from the fish ovaries and then getting just the right amount of salt requires skilled hands.
So he is not only salting the sturgeon roe, but he's folding it in. Like, think of him basically making a biscuit right now. Looks simple, but it takes a lot of dexterity. It takes, in this case, over a decade of experience.
Creating caviar is not only a labor-intensive endeavor, but it also requires an investment in time, a lot of it.
How long does it take from the fish to the can?
So spawn to here is a decade, right? So again, the challenge at our hatchery, we'll first start with that, is the work that we're doing in the hatchery this spring we'll realize in the 2030s.
Some caviar will set you back hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, but thanks to sustainably farmed sturgeon, caviar has become more affordable.
The estate, you can find it at Whole Foods Market for about $40, $50, you know, up to about $60, $70 if you get it from our retail.
And just in case you're wondering, no part of the sturgeon goes to waste. The meat is turned into delicious fillets, fish sauce, and even jerky. From Tsar Nikolai in Wilton, the caviar capital of the world, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the backroads.
Look, we know that in news, stories are often filled with challenges and hardships, but incredible things are happening every day, from neighbors helping neighbors to inspiring acts of kindness. So each week in our segment, Champions of Hope, we're sharing stories about people making a difference, reminding all of us about the power of community. Tonight, To The Point host Alex Bell introduces us to a familiar face on the American River who might have found your phone or keys.
The American River is beautiful. You come out in this river, it is therapy for the mind. You can let the rest of the world go. And this particular spot is right where most of the people who enjoy the river, this is where they launch their rafts from.
A place of adventure during hot summer days. It's also a place where Carl Bly finds all the stuff people drop in the river. Cash, fishing poles, and lots of phones.
If somebody brings it out here on the river, they're going to lose it eventually, and we're going to find it eventually.
What started as a hobby turned into his own adventure. In 2017, he created American River Lost and Found, connecting divers and people with their lost stuff.
I have to be honest, it's an addiction. It is super fun to find things, and it's even more fun, it's the next level of fun to then find the owner of the things you find.
And it all started with...
My father is a treasure hunter, plain and simple. My father got me and my brothers and sisters into diving when we were all young, and we spent most every weekend out here on this river back in the 1970s. We would look for treasures. So my dad was really the inspiration. My father, when he found things with a name on it, he would go through the phone book and call people with the same last name, and he would take out a classified ad in the paper, and he was able to return a few things that way. Piles of sunglasses, like prescription glasses.
Carl now creating...
This box is just some of the prescription glasses, yes. And, you know, we try to return these as well.
A collection of his own.
This is all of your treasure.
Yes.
Things I have to say are pretty unique. I mean, you still see people's lanyards on them. That's just incredible.
What started as a childhood adventure alongside his dad, becoming a meaningful way to connect with the community.
Lisa, if you're looking for your keys, they're right here.
I think one of the most unique things that I was not expecting to find out here were so many drones.
This drone, really would like to return this drone, and it had a memory card in there with some video, one tight shot of the owner, so definitely identify the owner if he knew that we had it. So that's the key. I have returned dentures before, believe it or not. It has happened. It's some conversation pieces.
Sharing his finds with over 25,000 followers on Facebook alone.
I personally find close to 100 phones a year, and other divers give me other phones to return. And last year, with the help of one particular diver, we found 157 cell phones.
In 1 year?
In 1 year.
They have a lot of stuff. Why keep it?
That's exactly what my wife says. Why keep it? But I can wind up donating most of it. I'm always hopeful that we'll be able to return them someday. Every now and then I get a message saying, hey, you know, I know it's a long shot, but 4 years ago I lost the phone. It's so gratifying to return stuff. I can't tell you how many countless stories of people that tell me, you know, my loved ones' last videos were on this phone and I lost them, and I can't tell you how much it means to us, you know, that we returned the phone. I found a prosthetic leg one day, and I had posted about it right after I found it. It practically went viral, the post did, and by the next morning, I had made contact with the person.
But there are a few treasures he's hoping someone will recognize.
If you know anybody who lost a ring just like this one, then I'd sure like to return it.
Sometimes his adventures turn into rescues.
You guys deserve a medal. You just saved my life, actually.
Through every dive and every item returned, he's not just finding lost stuff.
He would love it, being able to find things and return them.
He's keeping his father's legacy alive in the currents of the river they both loved.
When I'm out here on the river, I have distinct memories of my father finding certain things in certain places in the river, and I can still hear his voice yelling out, you know, there's a gold dredge down here in the water. I remember that one. It was just right down the way here. Spending time on this river, I feel like I'm still spending time with him.
Well, we know there are so many more stories waiting to be told. So if you know someone making a difference, we'd love to hear about it. Please share a story by emailing us at tothepoint@abc10.com. Together, we can keep spreading positivity one story at a time.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus this week. We are here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news anywhere, anytime. I'm Chris Thomas. We'll see you next time.
Our free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app has so much to offer. Get your news live and on demand 24/7, so you can watch the news when you want. There's breaking news, extended forecast, and so much more. We have everything you need to get through your day and ready for the weekend. We've got you covered on money-saving tips, travel, entertainment, and sports. Download the free ABC 10 Plus app on your smart TV and popular streaming devices like Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. ABC 10. We stand for you 24/7.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To the Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To the Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To the Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.